These guys know how to connect with you about Boston sports.
I can't disagree with that.
Jackpot!
Felger and Maz on 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Remember when we mentioned it yesterday? And the first thing I said is, I hope that guy knew how to fly his rig. And that I hope he's not JFK Jr. and one of these guys, just a thrill seeker who died seeking a thrill. And I sort of threw some shade on him. I mean, I didn't do what everyone does, which is, oh my God, what a tragedy. This is so sad. I said, yeah. Let me hear some details about this. Because this is the kind of death that makes me angry. For some reason, it makes me angry. And the second I heard about it, I went, oh. And of course, a lot of you couldn't handle it. Like, oh, Felger, you don't know what can go wrong up there. What about the military? Remember that call? What about the military? I'm not talking about the military, you jackwagon. I'm talking about a guy like this. And this is what makes me mad, Maz. And I don't know why it makes me mad, but it does. Like, it angers me. Someone who, I guess, I don't know, is so cavalier about life and can just doesn't appreciate the tenuousness of life and is willing to screw around with life and death, especially when you have children or a family. And who doesn't have a family? And who doesn't have people who care about him? Yet, you've got to get your rocks off by whatever it is that you do that cheats death. Driving a race car, climbing a mountain, jumping out of a plane, whatever it is. And you know these people. The crocodile hunter who had to dink around with crocodiles and poisonous fish and then got bit by a poisonous fish and died. I looked at that guy and said, that ain't no tragedy. You don't want to die getting bit by poisonous fish? Don't go chasing poisonous fish. And so when this guy went down in the plane yesterday, I said, I want to know about it. I said, I don't know the details, but hopefully this isn't JFK Jr., or someone who doesn't know what he's doing, screwing around with the plane and killing himself for all intents and purposes. And so it just sort of angers me. Like, you care that little about your life? Or about the life of your family? Or your little joyride? Is that important to you? That you're going to risk just dying? You're 40 years old and a multimillionaire with a loving family. And to you have to go get that thing where you can dive bomb from 100 feet to 5 above the water with your single engine plane with your hand out the window. Whee! Whee! Yeah, man, look at the G-force on this. I'm Maverick. Yeah, man, look at this. This is so cool. And you die splat. And it's over. So you're that guy. You have to do that?
Maybe you know that those type of people know those risks, though.
I just can't relate to them. I can't relate to them. I don't respect them. And to the point now where that guy is like the bad guy to me. You got this family. And you're going to screw around in this little toy plane, which is what this is. And if you read up on this plane, it's a little toy plane.
Well, and that's how it's described, too, as a toy. Right. So look, I'm not a plane guy. I'm not a race car guy. So when I heard this thing, I thought he died in a plane accident and that he was flying it. I don't know. Was he going somewhere? Is he someone that can fly himself to some places? Like, is that what it is? But when you see the video of this thing that was on TMZ today, he was like an aerial acrobat, for crying out loud.
Yeah, he was joyriding in
He totally was. I mean, he was just flying around out there, goofing around, zipping down toward the water, coming back up, zipping down again, coming back up. So, like, once you see the video, it is hard to sort of look at it and say, well, this is a tragedy. I mean,
you know what? I didn't need the video. You guys screw around on this plane. You're not a professional pilot. You're a part-time pilot. You buy a little toy plane that doesn't require a full pilot's license. All it takes is what they call a sport pilot's license, which takes about half the airtime, a third of the airtime, a third of the experience that you need for a real pilot license. So you're not a full. His dad was. That's why he's into flying, because his dad was a
commercial pilot.
I think he was a private, corporate pilot, is what they say. So I don't even think he was a commercial pilot. But whatever, maybe that's the same thing. I don't know. His father was a pilot, so he's got it in his blood a little bit. But he's not a militarily trained pilot. He's not a professionally trained. He is a Joe Q citizen who buys a plane that folds up, and you can put in your garage. And that's amphibious. You can land it on the water. Whee! Oh, woo! Look, I just landed on the water, everybody. I'm going to tweet it. Splat, you're dead with 2 kids. Moron.
And in fact, the cockpit of the thing was designed to be like a sports car, right?
I mean, it's kind of cool to look at. Like, yeah, it's a car. Oh, it looks like a car. Cool. And I can put my hand out the window. You can fly with your hand out the window. Whee! Look at me. I'm going to tweet it. Dead. To the point that you put your life at risk. Like that I find that offensive. That you are that cavalier about life. That you're going to get it's more important you to get your rocks off on the, like, so it's left over from childhood. Like, we all have a little dorky thing that's left over from childhood, right? Mine is sports. I was a sports dork when I was 6. I'm a sports dork now. I'm a dork. Okay? But I watch sports. Some guys, it's like race car driving. I'm driving really fast. Woo, yeah, man. Look at that engine, air to fakie. Woo, like that's like your little dorky thing. And if you don't outgrow it, and as a 40-year-old grown-ass man, you're still doing that, and to the point where you got to get in planes and race cars and all that crap, I'm sorry, dude. You're on your own. I got no sympathy for you. I feel horribly for your family, who, by the way, begged you not to get that plane.
Well, his wife did, right? She asked him not to, and he would not give in.
I find it offensive. The wife, so he started doing all these promotional videos for this plane company because he was so into the plane. And in one of them that they've taken down, she admits, I begged him not to do it. I didn't want him to do it. And he still did it. He still did it. This little plane. I love this too. So in May, the plane's chief test pilot, who was responsible for the plane's design, died in a crash in California. The plane is the A5, by the way. And so again, it's an amphibious 2-seat little plane that the wings fold up and you can put in your garage. Whee! Cool! Look at my plane in my garage.
You can buy it for $390,000.
Splat. Whee! I've got a plane in my garage. Everybody, look, I can fly it over the water. Whee! Woo! I can put my hand out the window. Yeah, I'm going to tweet it. Dead. To the point where the guy risks his life. It's just outrageous to me. God, I hate it. I hate hearing that story. Anyway, the chief test pilot, who was responsible for the plane's design, died in a crash in California in May. The NTSB concluded that the probable cause of that accident was pilot error. The plane had been flying at Lake Berryessa, a reservoir with coves, canyons, and steep rising terrain. Here's what they said in the accident report. It's likely that the pilot mistakenly thought that the canyon that he entered was a different canyon that led to the larger open portion of the lake. Instead, there was no exit from that canyon. The airplane would not have been able to climb out of the rising terrain that surrounded the area. This is all a long way of saying that he drove it right into the side of a mountain. Because why? Woo, man, look at this! Woo! I'm Maverick! We're going to go over this bridge. We're going to go down this bridge. Woo! And he's going to tweet it. Splat. Splat. To the point where you risk your life?
Yeah, but not every thrill seeker dies. So
no, but the ones that do, you're on your own, pal.
No, so that part I understand. So I'm not going to knock people for how they're wired and they're into that kind of thing. If
that's how you're wired,
I don't understand
and that's how you die, bon voyage.
I don't understand it either. But what bugs me about a story like this is when they use the word tragedy. A tragedy is what happened at that church in Texas this past weekend, or an orphanage burning down. This, you know what the risks are. A guy climbing a mountain, you fall off. You fly a plane like this and you're joyriding and you crash. Any of these type of things. If you're a thrill seeker and you die this way, you know the risk. It's an unfortunate circumstance, not a tragedy.
Oh, I felt it in the second I heard the news, I felt it in my bones. Like, what? Wait till we see the details on this one. I could not have been more right about it.
Well, and there have been 3 crashes with this plane since it hits the market, right? 3 crashes in 8 months? And
I haven't heard about the third.
Oh, yeah. So there was a third one. There were no fatalities. But in the one you're talking about, the test flight, 2 people died. The other flight, no one died, and then Halladay. So 3 crashes, 3 deaths in 8 months since the plane has been on the market.
But I don't blame the plane. I don't blame the plane for the fact that the guy wanted to dive bomb through mountains. You idiot. Yeah, let's dive bomb through mountains because it's going to put my hand out the window. Woo! And I'm going to tweet it. Splat. That ain't the plane's fault. This thing that Halladay was doing, diving from 100 feet to 5, and 5 feet feels ridiculous. So he was going that far off the water? Well, maybe he was, because one time it was not 5 feet. It was 6 feet. Idiot. Oh, God. I can't. And we've all done things that we look back and regret. Like, I don't even like taking the little planes in Nantucket that have professional pilots. But, they're single-engine little Cessnas, and sometimes the pilot's like a 19-year-old gal. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, And you've all done it. You've ever gotten on a little plane with a friend?
Oh, I think it's the end every time. I hate those things.
Oh, my God.
I won't get on him. I won't get on.
I did it once. I said, what the F are you doing, Felger? And if I had died doing that, you don't need to have sympathy for me. Idiot, my fault. I went helicopter skiing once. I got off that
God.
thing. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't do that.
If I die helicopter skiing, you have the right out there to do the exact same thing I'm doing to Roy Halladay. He got what he deserved. If that's that important to you, if it's that important to you, air to fakie. Oh, you should have seen the air I got.
So that part I agree with you with. You reap what you sow with this kind of behavior. It's like, did you ever see the documentary, either of you two, Grizzly Man?
No.
Grizzly Man. It's about a guy by the name of Timothy Treadwell. You know why they called him Grizzly Man? Because he made his life hanging out with grizzly bears. You know how he died?
He got eaten by a grizzly.
He got eaten by grizzly bears.
Oh, go Grizzly.
It's not a tragedy.
I root for the grizzly in that situation. But I've read tons of books, like Into the Wild, right? The kid that wants to go all the way deep into Alaska and then starves to death in the middle of Alaska. That ain't no tragedy, dude. I was sort of rooting for the poisonous berries by the end of that book. I was. I was rooting for the poisonous berries to get that guy. He bugged the crap out of me by the end. So that's it. You just don't care about life that much. You can go live on a bus in the middle of Alaska and die because you ate the wrong twig. I'm not joking. By the end of the book, I was like, I hope those twigs got him. I don't know why it makes me so mad, but it does. I find it like an affront that you care that little about your life, or that you can't. Your little, you need the need for speed, man. And like, who was it? Dale Earnhardt who died, the race car driver who died. Oh, like I root for the wall. I really do. That ain't no tragedy. Yeah, man. I take that turn like that. Yeah, woo! And then you crash into the wall? And I'm supposed to feel bad for you? Give me a break. Oh, God. So that's my rant on that.
You're listening to Felger and Bass on 98.5, The Sports Hub.
Got a big wig, giant big wig, sitting high upon my head. Workers Credit Union helps me get loans and save some bread. I get low fees, I get great rates, I'm a member through and through. With free checking and mobile banking, rocking big wigs is what I do.
Workers Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA, Access Insurance Center, Mass Share Insurance Corporation, Equal Housing Lender. Contact the credit union for membership details.
No one says it like they do.
So my question to the people of Boston is, what are you nuts?
Felger and Maz, 98.5, The Sports Hub.
Hey, first of all, Felger, I just wanted to say congrats that you were right. Congratulations that you nailed it. There's 2 kids out there without a father now and a widowed wife, but you are just so happy to say that you were correct.
Is that it?
All right? No, I mean, this guy clearly knows what he was doing. He flies planes all the time. I don't know where you're getting this arm out the window thing. I don't know if that's true or not.
You can put the arm out of that window. Yes, well, read up on it. Why don't you educate yourself on the plane? You can you can open up the windows, and it's a big part of the selling point of the plane. Is you can stick your arm out the window. Whee!
The point is he flies this thing all the time. He knows what he's doing. His passion is plane.
When did he take delivery of it, Matt?
I think he knows the risks of what's happening, but you can't say that it's not devastating or not a tragedy.
Not personally for him. I feel awful for his family.
That's like saying driving around every day in a car. You're running the same risk.
Really? The same risk driving around in a car as this A5 plane? Really? You believe that?
Yeah, there's a lot of car accidents, Felger.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. He took delivery of the thing on Monday. It's Monday. It was certified Monday. I'm trying to find the exact line in the story where I saw it. It was Monday that he got it. So he had just gotten the thing, or just certified, or he just.
Well, the plane's only been around for 8 months, and I think he started flying when they said he had rented one, right? So hadn't he been flying it for like a month and a half or something?
Maybe so.
But regardless, it's not a long period of time. And again, this guy hasn't seen the video. So look, yesterday, honestly,
that's just like driving.
So yesterday, I thought it was typical you. That's what I thought. I thought it was typical you.
Thank you.
Then I saw the video, and my mind changed. So when I heard he died in a small plane crash, I thought, well, again, maybe he's a traveler. Maybe he flies himself to places. Maybe maybe that's what he was doing. In which case, I say, maybe the plane malfunctioned. Like I thought, well, that's all unfortunate. That's a misfortune. But this thing, when you look at the video, he was doing it for kicks.
The certification for the plane was issued Monday, so he hadn't been driving that plane for a long time. Pat in the car. Go ahead, Pat.
I'm with you, Felger. I disagree with that last caller. I mean, sticking your arm out the window of the plane or not, he was an amateur pilot. He just got in that thing. Listen, my wife wants to bungee jump. My brother-in-law does it. Her brother, all the time. I tell her, the last thing you're doing, we have 2 children, 7 and 9, and I'm not going to explain to your children why Mom decided to do something stupid and jump off a bridge with a bungee cord. I'm sorry, but I agree with you. Tragedy, not my eyes. So.
You don't want to die falling off a 200-foot suspension bridge? Don't jump off a 200-foot suspension bridge. It's pretty simple. And even if he is an amateur pilot, Maz, even if he travels with the plane, I mean, that was JFK Jr. JFK Jr., not instrument trained. I mean, he couldn't fly at night because you got to keep your wings level. And I guess just my amateur 101 sort of analysis of it, but you got to be able to keep your wings level. You got to, and at night or at dusk, you got to be able to fly off instruments. So he wasn't instrument trained, but he took off at dusk so he could get to the vineyard with his girlfriend. Like that guy? I don't have a ton of sympathy for that guy either. You think you're that impervious? You're that impervious that you could be non-instrument trained or not fully trained to do what you're about to do in an airplane and just do it because you're John?
Okay, but all I'm telling you is that when we initially heard the story yesterday, I didn't know any of the specifics.
Me neither.
I didn't know anything about the plane. I didn't know anything about his flying experience. I didn't know whether there was a malfunction. I have no idea. Okay, so I'll wait on that one. As it turns out, when you see the video, nobody can make those arguments. He was thrill-seeking.
And the plane...
I mean, there's no two ways about it when you see the video. Just watch the video. It's on the web now. TMZ had it first, I think. When you see it, he's starting up way up high, coming down to the bottom. You got witnesses saying that he was doing it repeatedly over and over and again, basically dive-bombing down toward the water, and clearly what happened one time is he couldn't stop it.
So the controls of it's the Icon A5 have been likened to that of a sports car. If you look at it online, it looks pretty cool. Yeah, it looks cool. I can look at it and say that. If you feel the need to get in the thing and dive bomb from 100 feet, then again, you're on your own, like Roy Halladay. But anyway, it's been likened to that of a sports car. It has been described as so intuitive that the company said even a novice can learn to fly it in less than 30 hours. The recreational aircraft can be flown by anyone holding a sport pilot license, which takes about half the time to get as a standard license. Icon also released a video last month featuring Halladay and his wife Brandy flying and discussing how he couldn't wait to command his own aircraft. But Brandy Halladay expressed some reservations. I didn't grow up with airplanes or comfort level like he did in small airplanes. She fought me the whole way, Halladay said. Hard, she said. I fought hard. I was very against it. There's also this... the primary motor... This is Kirk Hawkins, one of the owners. The primary motor skills for operating the plane are pretty easy. We have people landing by themselves with an instructor on their very first day within 30 minutes. That said, they've painstakingly taken the time to design it for safety. The goal of the spin-resistant airframe feature is that if the pilot makes mistakes, the airplane doesn't lose control. As a backup, there's also a complete airplane parachute. You ever see these? Google it. Google airplane parachute. It's cool. The pilot flips a lever up here and poof, the whole thing comes down on a parachute. So this plane had, and that spin thing is what happened to John, I think. I think he lost level and went into a spin and didn't realize it because it was dusk. So this plane is designed to avoid that. The plane also, if you get any sort of trouble up there, has a parachute where the whole thing floats down. So I'm not going to say it's an unsafe plane unless you want to play an episode of the Jetsons, because that's really important to you. That you're the Jetsons. And you can tool around on your little plane and dive bomb from 100 feet.
I mean, I'll tell you, when you see pictures of this thing, it's hard not to look at it and think, boy, that's a paper airplane. That thing it's a paper airplane. It is tiny. And the wings fold up like, it's only $400,000.
You have friends who are pilots, like I have a couple friends who fly and are pilots, and they always say, I'll fly over to Nantucket. Easy. You don't have to get in line, just come meet me at wherever they are, Norwell or whatever, and I'll fly over. And I think about it for like half a second.
Oh, I don't.
And the other half, I go, what are you... No, I'm not kidding. I love you. I mean it. I respect your abilities as a pilot. I'm not saying... But no!
I'll take the ferry.
No! That's not how I'm going, man. That's not... No! I gotta be nuts! No! Thank you. I appreciate the effort, and I love you. I mean it. Total respect. But no effing way.
In fact, let me get my canoe and I'll row over there.
God!
I'm with you on small planes, Maz. Those things are terrifying.
Oh, God, no. I had to...
Even from major airlines. If you're flying out of some podunk city like Oklahoma City or something like that, like, oh,
the Caribbean, right?
But
you fly down, you have to take an island jumper every now and then, and you get on one of those, and I'm like, I'm not getting on this thing.
Those are tragedies. That's a professionally trained pilot, and that's an accident. That's an accident. And you have full sympathy. That's dying in a plane crash. This thing,
unfortunate circumstance.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so yesterday, again, I didn't know what his flight experience was. Yesterday, I thought there was the chance it was an accident.
Well, no. See, I'm just...
And I thought you were just being you.
Right, I'm an a-hole. So you don't have to explain. You felt the way a normal human being should feel. I have this thing about this. Like, it does. I find it offensive when people die like this. And then it gets treated like a tragedy.
But when you see the video, there's no gray area. He was doing loop-de-loops out there.
Okay, I'm just about done.
Felger and Maz.
Got a big wig, giant big wig, sitting high upon my head. Workers Credit Union helps me get loans and save some bread. I get low fees, I get great rates, I'm a member through and through. With free checking and mobile banking, rocking big wigs is what I do.
Workers Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA, Access Insurance Under Mass Share Insurance Corporation. Equal housing lender. Contact the credit union for membership details.
This is Felger.
The man is beholden to no one.
And Maz.
I don't really know what to expect.
On 98.5, the Sports Hub.
But we don't have you on camera since the last game, but based on everything that's transpired since then, is the goal now for you to retire with Tom Brady still serving as your starting quarterback?
Yeah, goal right now is to beat Denver.
Forget about that one. Last night I saw an unbelievable trailer for a documentary. I'm just wondering, who do you think over the years has been better at putting the media in its place, you or Bill Parcells?
Yeah. Denver's a target this week. No, you got all this stuff on your mind, but right now I'm just focused on Denver. Sorry, we can't connect on that.
I love that guy.
Tim McCone?
No.
It's Mark D. something.
He's a TV guy, right?
In Providence. I think he's the anti-McCone. I think he's McCone's arch nemesis.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Daniels?
No. This is like a TV. This like
Mark De Niro or something?
Yeah, he's like Lex Luthor.
I don't mean to diminish the guy. He's an anchor in Providence who is Tim McCone's evil twin, if you want to call it that, where McCone is sort of straight-laced and a little on the boring side. This guy's all over the place. A little bit of a loose cannon. Ask obnoxious questions of Bill, and so we get that every week from this guy.
Right, so McCone would be the Globe. This guy would be the Herald.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Okay. So that was Bill today. And the second thing that the guy asked him about was there's going to be a 30 for 30 on Belichick and Parcells.
The two Bills.
And they released this trailer.
It's the first thing I saw this morning when I woke up.
How'd you feel about it?
Oh, my gosh, I got two Bills in my pants. That's what I got. I was immediately geeked up about it. I thought, ooh, now this is a 30 for 30 I will absolutely watch. I watch many of them, but no question on this one. Like, I'm just, the two of them I find fascinating.
Okay, so let's play the trailer. Now, what you're going to hear is a bunch of former Jets and Giants commenting about Bill and Bill. So, like, you're going to hear Brian Cox say, well, we're a dysfunctional family, talking about the Jets. So you're going to hear
LT.
It's LT saying that Bill should have been the coach here, meaning I think the Giants and not the Jets. But so that's a commentary. They have different comments from different players. LT, Cox, different Jets and Giants saying that it should have worked out between the two. They should have been here, blah, blah, blah. Robert Kraft is quoted as saying, I don't know what he was doing taking that job. And I'm not sure if he means Parcells to the Jets or Bill to the Jets.
No, I think he meant Parcells to the Jets. He said, in fact, I think he was the first to say like he was offended by it or something.
So, and the last thing you'll hear is Parcells and Belichick sitting down to do the interview together in the same room, which has not happened very often over the years, if at all. But here's the trailer.
He's a guy I can talk to, and he's always been more than candid with me.
I better tell him that we alert for the hurry up.
We got it, Bill. We've already been over. He's a very exciting person to work with.
Well, Bill, give it to him again. Bill, give it to him again.
Bill and Bill learned from one another. They both knew their stuff.
The Giants have accomplished something that many people thought they would never see. Super Bowl 25.
Belichick should have been our next head coach. You know, y'all should have worked that out.
Bill Belichick was named assistant coach with New England. The move reunites Belichick with Bill Parcells.
You know, it just blew my mind, to be honest, that Bill had taken this job with the Jets.
There were crazy things with the Jets on the way in, and on the way out, it was crazy again.
I'm stepping down. Bill Belichick immediately ascends to the head coach of the Jets.
I've decided to resign as the head coach of the New York Jets.
The thing you got to know is this family is dysfunctional. Like, you don't get them together in the same room.
Everyone ready? Are the Bills ready?
I'm ready.
Ready?
All right.
song. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, I told you, I find them both fascinating. To me, Patriots history changed forever when Parcells came here. That was the starting point. Like, the whole sort of reputation and credibility of the franchise changed the day that Bill Parcells set foot in Foxborough. And then add Belichick to it, the whole 9 yards. This one interests me.
I just hope they're honest about how much they truly hated each other at times. I guess they're better now, and they've gone back and forth over the course of their careers, hot and cold. But when it was cold, man, it was cold, cold, cold. And I hope that they're honest about it, because that's when you're going to get the good stuff. So we'll see.
I don't think you'll get it. Everyone's so overhyped about this thing. Like, just when they showed it last night, social media blows up, and I'm sure you'll get cool footage. But are they really going to say anything? Okay. These two grumps.
All right, that's item number one. Item number two, Maz just read to me in the break about Jerry Jones and Roger Goodell. I read last night that Jerry Jones had been dismissed from the compensation committee in charge of negotiating Goodell's contract, even though he was never on the compensation committee. He was an ad hoc advisor. Arthur Blank, the owner in Atlanta, had brought in Jerry Jones to consult and help the compensation committee craft Goodell's new extension, except we all know that Jones had gone the opposite way and fought hard to keep Goodell from getting that extension. Now news came out from the New York Times today on what, Mez?
Okay, so the New York Times, Ken Belson of the Times, posted earlier today, and I'm reading to you directly from the story. Jerry Jones has escalated his feud with Commissioner Roger Goodell, threatening to sue the league and some fellow team owners over negotiations to extend Goodell's contract, according to two people with direct knowledge of the situation. Jones told the 6 owners on the league's compensation committee last week that he had hired David Boies, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I think it's Boies, the high-profile lawyer under fire in the Harvey Weinstein sexual harassment case.
He's Weinstein's lawyer?
Yes, according to the people who declined to speak publicly about internal league matters. Jones said in a conference call last Thursday with the 6 owners, those of the Chiefs, Falcons, Giants, Steelers, Texans, and Patriots, that legal papers were drawn up and would be served this Friday if the committee did not scrap its plans to extend Goodell's contract. As of Wednesday, the owners have not been sued. Jones could not be immediately reached for comment, and a league spokesman did not have an immediate response. A spokesman for Boies' law firm did not immediately return calls either.
What a great story. So, one thing I was wrong about is that I thought Jerry Jones was just posturing to appease his fans. When he started barking after the Ezekiel Elliott thing, I thought he was doing what Kraft did, which is, Wells reporting context, we're really mad, but really not. Just trying to placate his fans. He's not just trying to placate his fans. I mean,
he's going through with it.
He wormed his way onto that committee to try and block the contract. He has brought in sponsors to threaten to pull sponsorships because of anthem protests to block the extension to Goodell.
Papa John's.
Now he's threatening to sue the league. Now he's threatening to sue the compensation committee, because the 6 teams you just mentioned, I think, are the compensation committee.
They are. That's exactly right. Yeah.
So it's and Arthur Blank is the chairman. So
it's the Hunts, the Blank, the Maras, the Rooneys, McNair, and Kraft.
Okay, so that group, including Kraft, presumably, wants to go ahead and give Goodell his extension, and Jerry says, if you do it, I'll sue you. And he's hired Weinstein's lawyer to do it?
Correct.
That's a good story.
How about that story?
The league is truly eating itself now.
I'll tell you what, this is stupid. Jerry Jones is being stupid.
Well, let me ask you, Patriots fans, do you think he's being stupid, or you applaud him?
He's being stupid.
Are Patriots fans cheering him?
A lot of Patriots fans probably, this is what they wanted Kraft to do.
Right. But exactly what they wanted Kraft to do.
Right, but they'll call Jones stupid.
We'll see.
No, at least I was consistent. I said Kraft shouldn't have sued the league because it would have been stupid to do it. And now the fact that Jones is doing it is stupid. Dumb. His family's going to own and run that team for a while. What are you doing, you moron?
Right, you can't. Right, exactly. They'll be held against, just like with the Raiders.
Oh, you moron. That's a big mistake. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's a threat. Maybe ultimately he won't sue.
Even the threat of it is, what are you doing?
Oh, God, what a mistake. It's a huge mistake. Take your medicine and shut up.
They don't sue each other.
And if it's all over the Ezekiel Elliott thing, which it feels like it is.
Don't you think it is? I mean, people tell me no, but that's what I think.
The story says that it is. The story says that it is. My guess is that Jones is going to argue that they're now losing money in some capacity, and maybe that's ultimately what got him to act. And to me, that's really what it is. If they were still making money at the same rate they were before, that they probably wouldn't do it. But it's a mistake. It's a huge mistake. Huge.
So, hell of a story either way. That's what I'm rooting for. Just the story and then the drama. And how about that? Jones is going to all those lengths, to every single length your guy wouldn't. And, I mean, I think they're all guilty. I think you were guilty. I think Ezekiel Elliott's guilty. I think you all got what you deserved, basically. Brady didn't. The team did. I think you all got what you deserved. But one guy's really taking it. So, why is Jones acting the way he is and Robert wouldn't?
Because Jones is a nitwit.
Because one guy's smart and one guy's stupid.
Right. Yes, I think that's ultimately it. That Robert recognized.
One guy's pragmatic and has a bigger picture view of the world, and the other guy's just a hothead dope.
So if you're Robert Kraft, and I told you I gave Kraft credit throughout the thing that fans were getting upset at him, and I thought he honors the deal with the fan base. He gives you a good product every year in and year out. That's what the deal is. And they went on to win in spite of it. So Kraft is always, he's honored to deal with the fans. He doesn't screw them over on that one at all. And he was smart enough to look at this whole thing and along the way take criticism from Jones. Take criticism from Jones, who told him basically you got to take your medicine. It's about the group, not the individual. Right? It's about the whole, not the parts. And then now here you are a couple of years later and you're suing the league. Oh, what a fraud. What a complete, total fraud.
Totally.
You hypocritical, complete, total fraud.
And how many nice things did Jones say about Goodell through that whole Deflategate
Oh, my
thing?
gosh. It's just once it happens to you, the circumstances are different. You big baby, you jackass.
And it's one thing to stomp your feet like the Crafts did, or the Wells Report in context like the Crafts did, to appease your fans or just sort of, have your hissy fit just to get it off your chest. It's one thing. You're allowed that almost. Almost. I think the Wells Report in context was dumb, but you know what I'm saying. At the end of the day, you're not threatening the future of your franchise and the business partnerships that you've made. You're not going to turn around and sue the league. Jones is threatening to sue the league if they give Goodell his extension.
That's what he says. It says some fellow team owners, so maybe it's the compensation committee. He's threatening.
Well, that's how it reads, those six.
Yeah, again, Chiefs, Falcons, Giants, Patriots, Steelers, and Texans. So McNair, the Rooneys, Blank, the Maras, the Hunts, and the Crafts.
Jones is going to sue Robert over Goodell's contract. Robert is not only going to fight so hard to give Roger Goodell his extension, he's going to get sued by Jones by doing it.
See, again, so if I'm Robert, and Robert won't act this way because he's got a cooler head than that, Jonathan will be scraping off the ceiling over there. But if you're him, you're looking at him saying, you've got to be kidding me. After all the rhetoric and garbage you spewed during Deflategate, now you're going to sue the league when your guy's out there doing something worse?
I didn't think he could do anything dumber than going to one of the league's biggest sponsors in Papa John's and essentially telling them, because this is what I believe. He told that John Shattuck, why don't you just pull your advertising? Because they're doing me dirty. And so you're going to cost the league money. You're going to cost these other owners and go into their pocketbook. And now you're going to sue them?
Okay, so your reaction to that story, we started a lot of Celtics-Lakers. That's still on the board. Whatever you want, I promise your calls right after this.
You're listening to Felger and Mass on 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Got a big wig, giant big wig, sitting high upon my head. Workers Credit Union helps me get loans and save some bread. I get low fees, I get great rates, I'm a member through and through. With free checking and mobile banking, rocking big wigs is what I do.
Workers Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA, Access Insurance Center, Mass Share Insurance Corporation, Equal Housing Lender. Contact a credit union for membership details.
This is Felger and Mass.
I'm a hypocrite.
Wow.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Johnson, you take Magic Johnson seriously as a basketball executive, Pete?
I have to, only because he will get everybody, like you guys are saying, he'll get people into the room. He's charismatic like that. He's Magic Johnson. Everyone's going to at least take the visit. So I think he's credible. The rest we'll have to see. But the reason I was calling is, you're talking about LeBron going to the Lakers. You want to talk about drama. LaVar Ball has already criticized the Lakers for benching his son in the fourth quarter. Can you imagine LeBron going to the Lakers and being criticized by LaVar?
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, it's all good. I can't imagine that. That would be great. I just think in the short term, the Balls, Lonzo, LaVar have given a little bit of relevance back to a little bit of juice, I should say, back to the Lakers. A little bit of juice. And I think it's a neat trick for them. For tonight, they're going against the best team in the league with the best record, the best story so far in Kyrie Irving and the Boston Celtics. They're 5-5, and that rookie point guard is averaging 8 points a game, and it's a LaVar Wednesday. That's a pretty snappy trick right there by the Balls.
Lonzo Wednesday.
Lonzo Wednesday. What'd I say?
LaVar.
Well, it's really a LaVar Wednesday, isn't it?
And they're all named with L-I or L-A, including LaVar's brothers, the uncles.
Here's Mike and Methuen. Hi, Mike.
Just quickly on a point that Felger made earlier, of course you'd rather be the Lakers short-term, long-term, and even short-term, even in the next 10 years. You spent 6 years to try to get to the point you're at now, and in one fell swoop, the Lakers are going to sign LeBron James and probably be better than you next year.
I mean, I don't know if they're going to be better than you, but that's my point. For the Celtics to do what they're doing, they've got to draft Larry Bird a year early. They've got to spin Garnett for 3 firsts, and they got to make every pick right. And they got to make every one count. And if they thread the needle, they can do it. The Lakers just have to wake up one day and have the best player in the league choose them, which is going to happen again eventually.
Okay, but just remember, the Lakers have taken a while to get to this point too, because they have sucked lately.
No question. But it's just a matter of time. I guess, again, in my opinion. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
And don't forget, too, the Buss family has been running the Lakers now for the last God knows how long. And they've won 3 more championships than you have over the last 20 years. But getting back to the point getting to my original point with LaVar Ball, I think at this point, LaVar Ball needs, as enjoyable as it is for me as a third-party viewer, I think he needs to just step. I think he's done everything that he can do for his son. He got him where he wanted to go. He got him to L.A. And at this point, I don't think he's a benefit to his career anymore. Go focus on your other 2 kids. Try to get them in the national spotlight. Get eyeballs on them. I just don't think the added pressure is going to do.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Mike, it's debatable. I mean, has LaVar running his mouth also brought out the best in his son? Like, has it gotten his son to the point where the son has to elevate to answer for his father's mouth? Like, I know that's sort of convoluted and backward, but is he also, is there more urgency with his son and that Lakers team because every game feels to be a grudge? And I'm almost disappointed that I haven't heard LaVar on Kyrie. I wish someone could get to LaVar and ask him about Kyrie and if you think your son's better than Steph, you must think your son's better than Kyrie. I'd like to hear that so we can play that sound and, have that thing going into the game tonight.
Well, maybe he would have said it if he weren't in China with his other one.
Trying to get his kid out of jail. Fair enough. I'll just say I just think the balls have been good for the NBA because they brought a little bit of relevance back to the Lakers, a little bit of juice back to the Lakers, and the league's a better place when the Lakers are good. They're a better place when you're good, but it's just a better league when that team is a threat or just again has some juice. And I think the balls have given their some juice there.
Felger and Maz, the Sports Hub.
Got a big wig, giant big wig, sitting high upon my head. Workers Credit Union helps me get loans and save some bread. I get low fees, I get great rates, I'm a member through and through. With free checking and mobile banking, rocking big wigs is what I do.
Workers Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA, Access Insurance Under Mass Share Insurance Corporation, Equal Housing Lender. Contact the credit union for membership details.